And alright, let me get where you can see me. I'm going to hide behind these glasses. So this is the first live stream. I hope everyone is well. Life has been busy. I have not been able to put a video in around 6 months. I have been working hard trying to free up my time so I can do this more. Because this is most important. So let's just sit like we usually do in the other videos. And I also have a screen here now so I can see what you see. Soon we'll have Skype, and you guys will be able to Skype in, ask questions, talk, which is going to be awesome. I can't wait to hear questions. It's going to be fun. So we'll sit like we usually do for just a minute, let our minds get calm. I know I usually give you guys a better background. This is the bedroom. This is where I sleep. This is where everything I own is, except for my truck. I have a truck, or at least I am the steward of these things, temporarily, you could say. So that's it. Okay, that's probably good. What I will start doing with the live streams is we'll have 2 a week. I have to figure out what those days are. They'll probably be during the day, around noon, California time. California, United States time. And by that time, hopefully I'll have Skype working. I'm going to do one more test with Skype to make sure it interacts correctly with a couple of friends. And then we'll be able to communicate. It'll be fun. So let's get to non-duality. It seems that I spend most of my life these days, even in my general everyday conversations, discussing this, whether I want to as the character or whether you want to hear it as a character. There was a person once that said, once you're awake, it's the only thing you can talk about. And I find it to be true. Awake, however, is not a correct term. There's no asleep or awake. It is the dissolution of the separate sense of self that we're discussing here, or the seeming dissolution and the seeming forming of a separate sense of self. So as this form, this character, this guy you know as Jason sits here, the perception, the inner state is empty. That may be hard to believe. However, what I would say is, if we consider the form the wave, and everything that contains, or the forms the waves, and everything that contains the waves, the ocean, there are 2 ways we can identify within. We can be identified as the wave, or we can be identified as the ocean. Now, I can't just believe that I'm the ocean or believe I'm a wave. The words don't matter. And beliefs don't matter. What I'm talking about is the sense, the perception, the direct perceiving of non-duality, of oneness, or, abiding non-dual awareness. Awareness without a sense of self. Awareness without a sense of self. Consciousness without a sense of self. Who was it? David Mohm wrote a book called The Razor's Edge. I like it, The Razor's Edge. And I may have said this before, but there was a character in the story who had been to war. And his best buddy, his best army buddy or military buddy, died right next to him. And he saw him. And when he seen that, it impacted him. It changed his course. It changed the direction he was going in. And he said something like, "Dad is dead. Dad is dead. Dad is dead. Dad is dead." Now that's hard to understand. We got a lot of fancy beliefs about what comes after this world or before it. And at least in the experience of awakening or liberation, that is a death. It's just like physical death. The thing that dies at the end of life, that goes through the suffering, can die in the middle of life while the character still goes on. And we could call that process, that inner alchemical process, awakening. And it's not nice. It's not happy. It's not ooey ooey. I mean, there's some great experiences. You could say that you get, it's almost like Dante's Inferno. You go through the 7 levels of hell, or all the levels of heaven and all the levels of hell. You might even have mystical union at some point. Those are just experiences. They're just flowery trappings on the path. They are not awake. They're just experiences. Enlightenment, liberation, awakening, non-duality. It starts right where you end. And you might say, how is this possible? How is this possible to end and yet still be here? Well, we are merely constructs in the head of a form created by, you could say, instinct in the body. The forms are anyway. In the sense of a separate self, that energetic wall that seems to be here, where the skin is, or seems to be. Science says there's nothing here. Well, how is it that there's nothing here? Like, you break everything down, it's just vibrations. All it is vibrations. But man, things seem solid, right? Things seem solid. It's crazy. Hello. It looks like we got somebody on here. I think. Give me a second, let me look. Oh, nice. This is a first. Let's see. Give me a second to talk with you. I wasn't expecting this. Let's see here. What are we going to say? Hello. And I'm saying it out loud. Oh, I don't even have to Skype. I can talk with you guys here. I would rather they'll be able to hear you. How are you? I don't know how to read your name. It looks like it's Russian. Am I correct? Let me put my glasses on so I can see. There we go. wonder, will it let us talk? It probably won't. That would be neat. No, pop out chat. What's this? Whoa, pop out chat window. Oh, that's great. I can do it like that. Nice, 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 nice. I'll put Skype there. Well, thank you for saying hello. And if I could say your name, I would. Do you have any questions? Or are you still there? Don't know how to see if people are still here. Let me see here. Okay, well, you haven't said anything back, so neat though. Oh, there you are. I'm here for a long time to translate Google. Oh, here in America? Let's see here. Whoa, what happened? Oh, there we go. Look at that. It comes up on the screen. That's great. That's great. It comes up on the screen while I'm chatting live. Nice. Ukraine. Wow. Well, okay. Are you... Let's do this. Can you hear the audio? And I know you're listening to me. Can you hear the audio and see the video fine? I'm gonna, let's see. Nice, the video and sound are good. Good. Is it okay with you if I just speak to you and ask questions through the camera? Through the video, and then you answer me back through the chat. Eventually I will have Skype and you'll be able to chat with me, just face to face sort of. And if that's cool, please say yes on the chat. Oh, Google Translate. Google Translate. I get it now. Oh, you're in the UK and translating Google. Alright. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll get back to some non-duality. Oh, there we go. Mail. Awesome. There we go. Good. I wonder what the lag is from here to there in the Ukraine. Very beautiful female forms in the Ukraine. So anyway, I can't remember where we was. We were talking about non-duality. Thank you so much for chatting. If you want to keep chatting, just chat back and forth, and I'll answer any questions that you may have. Awesome. Awesome. Good. So he just answered the question that could he hear and see fine. I'm just going to talk to the feed, and then he's going to speak there. We can speak that way. So you're male in the Ukraine. Okay. Have you seen many of the videos? Come on. Ooh, are we here? Oh, looks like we're there. Oh, yay. We died out a little bit there, and it looks like the video quality's grainy. It's because I'm shooting this on my iPhone. I'm watching it on my computer. The phone camera is usually better. And I'm still kind of testing this, so I want to work out all the issues when we actually go to chatting live, because I'll have Skype running too, which for my computer I have direct Ethernet cable. For the phone, it's a little iffy. I wonder if my hotspot's on. I'll be right back. Oh, look at that. So there we go. We hooked up our Wi-Fi hotspot on our phone, and that seems to have fixed the issue there. So there we go. Good. I think we're doing okay. We're 17 minutes in, so I'm going to push this to 30. I'm going to try and get a little more talking in. When we are born, you could almost say that when the form forms within all that exists, the form has no sense of self. The instinct mechanism in the form has not kicked in yet, and my theory is that it locks into place hard somewhere during puberty, and that is the personality of the person by that time, because that is the story at that time. The story, enough experience has happened to create these layers and layers of energy that seem like there's a person inside a form, and then there's the world outside. What's cool though is like a bit. Maybe it says I'm live. We're still dropping out a little bit. We'll have to get there we are. We're still dropping out a little bit. We'll have to get this tweaked. And I may go edit the video if I can, make some cuts. So, when a child forms, or a form forms, it exists within oneness. And since that energetic egoic sense of self created by the fear instinct and the body thing's not there, it's amazing. We all love to look in the eyes of children. Getting too much glare off my glasses. In the eyes of children and little babies. It's because there's a magic there. There's nobody there yet. Nobody home. No personality formed. No sense of separate self. It perceives it and everything else as an extension of it without thinking that way. It just perceives it. And so, awakening, liberation, non-dual awareness, you could say, is the slackening or the seeing through or the destroying or whatever you want to call it of the fear-based sense of self, or the multi-layer sense of self that's created and generated by fear in the body, the instinct mechanism in the body. And I could be wrong about all this, but it's a good way of pointing to, hey, there's a greater reality here. And you're not anything that you think you are. And you're not anything that you feel you are. And that's pretty awesome. You are pretty fantastic. Flower children. What is this? Flower children. The man. Oh, we got more people on here now. I got 2 more. He gave me 3 mushrooms. I don't know what that means, but that's cool. Hippie. Oh, are you asking me if I'm a hippie or a flower child? Because that's just a label that the mind creates. Fear categorizes reality. Right? Fear, instinct in the body, categorizes reality. Shrooms, yeah, they're a very good medicine. They actually help to temporarily dissolve the ego so that you experience what you are. And it's intense. You're not used to experiencing the fullness of you. And as the chemical wears off, the ego comes back, and the mind tries to figure out what went on. Whoa, I saw this and that, and it means this and that. All the story in the head is just fear talking. That is not you. You ever sit quietly and you want your head to shut up and it won't? Well, if that's you, why is it talking when you want it to be quiet? That's pretty crazy. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's weird. We get used to things. Television teaches us stereotypes. Someone who might have a do-rag on their head. My mom makes these. I wear them to keep my head warm. I don't do it as a style thing. It's just my mom makes them, and I wear them, and that's that. Does it make me a hippie? I don't know. I don't know what makes a person a hippie. I know that the world has stereotypes. Ooh. Yeah, that's great. Languages are operating systems. I like to use, this is from The Man. I don't know your real name, The Man, but very much so. You could say that our software is all the information that comes in through the 5 senses from the day that you form. Or that form forms, that car you're driving in forms, not you. Well, you've kind of been here for a long time, forever. Kind of. Forever. There is no beginning and end to you. There is a beginning and end to the story that fear weaves in the head of a form, to make it seem separate so that the form survives. Imagine if that instinct wasn't here to make me feel separate, then I wouldn't run from danger. Right? But with the thinking mind, it talks about stuff that's not there. It sees danger everywhere. It sees imaginary danger. It's and that weaving of that story then causes the emotions to be what they are. As a character, I went through a deep, dark state of depression. I was in a low-grade state of depression for most of my life, and then a dark, deep state of depression for 2 years straight. And it was the awakening process. It was the dying process. But while that was happening, this head was loud, crazy mad, just depressed, and the body felt everything that this story was weaving up here, right? And at some point there was a seeing clearly. Oh, that's not me. Oh, that's not me. Oh, wait, I'm this thing that hears that. Whoa. Oh, I'm this thing that feels through the body. I'm this thing that uses the eyes to see, the skin to sense, to feel, the nose to smell, the tongue. But this is a finger. The whole form is like a finger. One of our fingers, one of your fingers. It's not you. Let's see here. We got some more stuff up here. The Man, Shrooms Rule. And then the guy in the Ukraine gave me a smiley face. The Man, languages are operating. Do I know about Terence McKenna? Yes, Terence McKenna was, you could say, a non-dual speaker. Mr. McKenna, I believe, really respected the Asian schools to attain non-duality, liberation, enlightenment. Zen in particular, I believe. Zen was a very, and is, well, old school Zen. We got pretty Zen nowadays. That's a different thing. Old school Zen was very hard. It was very, the quickest way from asleep or from ignorance to illumination, darkness to light. Oh, you said Terence McKenna. I said Alan Watts. I'm mixing the two. Terence McKenna. Yeah, Terence McKenna was a speaker back then too. I mean, Terence McKenna is a cool dude. I just can't understand half the stuff he says. What I'm trying to do is use language to point you to the truth and to be as precise as possible. And I don't want to give you a lot of airy-fairy words that the mind can grab onto, Oh, well, that's great. Great. Mention some more. My name is Jason Long as this character. What's wearing this mask? Well, that's a different story. No, I'm not a philosopher. That's a label. I am describing in words. This is from the Russian guy. He goes, "You are a philosopher?" Question. No, I am not a philosopher. I am not religious. So the man just asked me if I'm religious. What I'm doing is I'm using words to point to the greater reality that everything that you think and feel you are and have thought and felt you were up to this very point is not true. It's there. It's not true about you. You aren't any of that. And believing you are that is ignorance. And seeing that you're not that clearly is the end of ignorance. Ignorance just means not knowing. And knowing, hold on, you guys are blowing me up here. Let's see. Okay, the man said, "Please don't tell me you're religious." And I am not religious. And he said, "Good." And he said, "I already know this." Yeah, well, the character started out in a Baptist church in Alabama. And I will not dog anyone's ideologies. However, I would, as the Bible says, and I'm just mentioning the Bible. I'm not religious. I don't go to church. This is a book I read a long time ago that helped get me to the end of the road, the end of the path. There is an end to the path. If you're one of those people who's seeking till the day you die, like physically, and your life becomes seeking, well, that's not the point. That's just a lifestyle, a hobby. You're just playing games with yourself. Because there is an end to seeking. There is an end to knowledge. There's an end to seeking and an end to knowledge. And most people would argue with that. But all knowledge is man-made. It has nothing to do with reality. Nothing. The beauty of man-made knowledge is we can describe reality, create systems, work within those systems, but if we get stuck believing that the systems are real, there we are. Sorry about that, guys. These live streams, we'll get it right. What is it? Well, the man said something interesting, and I know where he's coming from. He says, "No one has all the answers. We should always be learning." Well, let's see. When you were a kid and you were told to play doctor or play house or, play cowboy or play whatever, you kind of knew you was pretending. And then at some point you forgot you were pretending. And what happens is all the human world, every word in every book, every bit of human knowledge, I assure you, is pretend. It's not true. It's conceptualizing reality. However, it has nothing to do with reality. It's a very funny thing. Very funny thing. Can you imagine being alive and not actually using the eyes on the front of your face and the ears on your head? Well, if you're watching the thoughts in your mind, if you're more concerned about the thoughts in the head and the feelings in the body, guess what? You are not seeing the world as it is or hearing the world as it is. You are seeing and hearing the world as fear thinks and feels it is. And that's a different story. Maya. Buddha talked about Maya. I'm going to talk about Buddha a minute. Maya. Maya is delusion created by the fear instinct in the body. Right? And just so you know, there is only one single answer. It is the dropping of all the questions that the truth, the answer to everything appears. So yes, sir, there is an end to learning. There is an end to knowledge. There is an end to you. There is an end to everything. Change is the only constant. Change. And all this running around that we see in our modern civilizations is trying to create a sense of security where one doesn't exist. All these walls and these big giant, these walls around us, When we didn't have big giant egos, we lived in the woods. We didn't need walls. We needed thin little tents made of animal hide or little huts made out of trees. And then as that ego, the ego of all of us got bigger, right? These walls around us get bigger. It's kind of funny, And the bigger the ego, the bigger those walls get, and the harder the material they get made out of. Don't believe me? Anyway, let's see. And the thing is the perfect state of knowingness, non-duality, or abiding non-dual. This people has been credited with many achievements today. I doubt their truthfulness. This people have been credited with many achievements today. Yeah, you know what though? A lot of people claim achievements that aren't theirs. I mean, if you're not real in the sense of the character, if you're not the wave, if you're not the thoughts, feelings, or the body, right? If you're neither of those three, right? Then what are you? Or who are you? It's the first question you should answer. Where are you? What's going on here? And I assure you, if you've never questioned that stuff yourself, then you've blindly followed and believed everything you've ever been taught about reality. You might disregard pieces. You might not believe in UFOs or aliens. You might have conservative political beliefs or liberal political beliefs. They're all beliefs. And what we see, all the warring in the world, is just beliefs warring with each other. Beliefs are airy-fairy. They're not real. Show me where a belief exists in the real world. Beliefs aren't factual. They have nothing to do with life. You are life. That is it. You are all life. You are all life. You don't have a life. There has to be a you to have a life, but you are life. So life can't have a life. You are life. That's weird, huh? But I can tell you this. I'm just describing the direct experience of reality without a sense of self, non-dual awareness. I'm not claiming to know any more as this character than I can't perform heart surgery. I can't build rockets to space. However, I know how to find a doctor. I know how to find the people to build the rocket to space. Right? I can't do any of that. I can't make the sun rise or fall. But what we are makes the sun rise and fall. and it's singular in nature. Over here, it's acting like thoughts, feelings, body, air, room, my dog. My dog is right here. Come here, Mabel. Come over here. Let everybody meet you. Come here. Come here. Jump up. Jump up. This is Mabel. This is Mabel. She's got a sideways tongue. Yeah, that's Mabel. See that? She's not my dog. She's my friend. We're just kind of buddies on the road. That's Mabel with her sideways tongue. Yep. She's my little lover. She's a sweetie. All right, go get in your crate. Go lay down. Okay, so we are at 37 minutes. We've got quite a few little cues in there, and we'll in the live stream we'll go back and edit those out. So this will be a decent video. Yes, beautiful. The Russian guy said man is an animal. Yes, the physical form of man is an animal, and the sense of being a human is created by the fear instinct in the animal form, the sense of separate self. But the beauty of this form is that you get to perceive, you get to experience what you really are if you can get past all the things that you're not. And that's harder than it sounds and simpler than it sounds, you know. I'll end with a statement by Buddha. And this is this. Everyone is the Buddha. I may be misquoting that. May not be the Buddha that said that, but I'm going to say this. Everyone is the Buddha, singular. Uno. Right? And realizing it is the hard part. Once realized, it's realized. You could say that's been realized here. But all that is realizing there's no me. True self is no self. And when you find that, you're free. Until you find that, you're not. Right? And all I'm doing right now is I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm not trying to get you to believe anything. All I'm trying to do is get fear out of the way over there so that me over there can come out and play. Because this is all just a game. Nothing serious going on here. Just a little entertainment for what you really are. That's all. Just a game. Just a ride. Okay, we got a couple more questions. I'm going to answer these, and this is it. It says, Ukrainian guy said, man is an animal. The form is animal form, yes. The consciousness looking through the form, however, is not an animal. My dog, the form of the dog, is a form. It's an animal. The consciousness looking through the form, not an animal. Life is a set of chemical processes. If you understand very deeply, then the line between living and non-living is lost. Yes, sort of. You know, what's happening here is there is one thing acting as many things, even acting as though it is separate, that it is a little human, you could say. And so the sense of separate self created by fear in the form says there was a me born, which is just a delusion in the head of this animal over here, right? So since I wasn't born, I can't die. Life and death are actually beliefs. They're misconceptions about reality. You're not born and you don't die. A story is born in the head, created by fear in the animal body, which is not you. Now, if you can see that clearly within that form and realize there's nobody in there, that you're out here looking in, not in here looking out, then we're playing a different game. Okay, this guy's just nailing it out, man. Look, it's all one thing. Drop the questions, drop the answers, all that stuff. Then what distinguishes us from animals destroys the planet. No, I mean, the personality over here The personality over here is created by fear in the body. That's all. The problem, the thing that's killing the planet, is that fear in the body is now talking up here in my head, in the head of this form, and it's tricking me into thinking I'm something I'm not. And then I act out of that, which I don't really act out of that, I react out of that. Until you're awake, it's like fear has its hand up your butt, and it's your puppet. And I hate to put it that way, but fear is puppeting you. It's just your fear's puppet. Until you see through it, and then you're free. So all animals have fear. We conceptualize fears that don't exist, and that's what's killing the planet. The thought that something was wrong or out of place in the first place. You know, when I perceive wrong, I then have to solve it, which then creates more problems, which I then have to solve, and ultimately that leads to killing the fucking planet. So stop seeing problems. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. That was said a long time ago. Can you do it? Can you hear no evil, see no evil, and speak no evil? Even if things appear to be that way in front of you. It's a tough challenge. One of the few possessions Gandhi had was a small statuette. The three monkeys. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Because ultimately, good and evil are just tricks of fear. It's a story being told about reality that has nothing to do with reality. Man kills all forms. Why? No. No. Man does not kill all forms. This thing that we're a part of, it's constantly shifting and changing its form. There's one thing here acting as many forms. There is no man and no humans. There is no man and animal. There are no trees and planets and solar systems. There are no moms and dads and sons and daughters. There is only one thing appearing as many and shifting its appearances forever. So if anything's killing anything, it is just life itself. Creation and destruction. There's a circle there. And if you see it, you see it. And if you don't, you don't. But if you think there's a sense of self, you're stuck in this karmic cycle where you're chasing after, immortality and running away from death. And that's just a game. It's not. I mean, death is coming for the form. Thank goodness I'm not the form. Thank goodness you're not the form. The form is just a ride. This is just a ride. It's a very long ride. It takes a little while to get used to it, 30, 40 years. But once you get used to it, it's easy. Let's see here. What does this say? This says, the form man kills form. Okay, I understand 20% of what was said. It's hard to talk about complex things knowing only 100 to 200 words. I believe you can find a video translation app that can translate what I'm saying. Eventually, I will be able to get my videos translated for you guys. That's going to take a little while. Oh my goodness. I hope you know, sir, Mr. Gunther, that there we go. There we go. So, you may have missed some of that. So, one of my buddies just chatted on here. He said, if I take a big poop, does it actually smell? Would a Frito be a Frito without us? And was Gandhi circumcised? Those are three questions that I think you will have to go figure out the answers for yourselves. However, I will say, none of that exists. And yet at the same time, it seems to. And I'll end with that. Thank you, Mr. Oh, wait, what? What would be a simple metaphor for this? For what, Josiah? The Frito, the poop, Gandhi, I don't know. Simple metaphor. Oh, okay. Perhaps the penis of Gandhi is somewhere preserved. You need to know the truth. Oh, funny. Funny. Anyway, guys, I'm done. That's 45 minutes. I think that's the longest video I've ever done. I wanted to see if I could push past 30. The live stream works. We got a couple kinks in it. So we're going to try and work that out. Mr. Gunther, thank you for joining. A gentleman and scholar you are. I'll see you in the real world out here. And we'll talk soon. And eventually I'll have a live feed schedule for you guys. It'll be the same 2 days every week, same time. Thank you. Have an amazing day. Bye. We'll see. Oh, how do we stop it?